The Experts with Jason Lauren.
You're special.
Specialists who specialise in very special things.
Hi, I'm Kelly Hobbs and I'm an animal behaviour specialist at Werribee Open Range Zoo.
Let's hear from the expert.
So, yes, we are joined by an animal behaviour expert. Hopefully she can teach us how to deal with Lauren. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
All right, we have many questions.
Firstly, favourite animal?
Lion.
Oh, yes.
Why?
Love lions. I love the way that they have a really kind of tight-knit group. The females run the show.
Yes.
The guys are kind of the brute strength. Okay, whatever. But the females are the brains and they're so good at raising their young and they're just a really cool animal and so smart.
You're a behaviour specialist. Can you tell by looking at an animal when it's going to attack?
They give us, animals communicate
Ace
really,
Ventura.
really effectively.
This is what she does. She would be able to tell.
Animals are really, really fantastic communicators. We are not so great at picking up on their
their
cues.
cues.
Yeah, so they give us lots and lots of signals that they're not feeling good or they're feeling uncomfortable in a situation, and it's up to us to be able to read those cues and say, "All right, you're not feeling comfortable. I'm going to back off and leave you alone
Snakes,
for
you
a
see
while."
them curl up and you know they're going to go, yeah.
Just don't go near them.
No.
Leave them alone, I reckon. Are there any animals that are untrainable, or what is the hardest animal?
Absolutely no animal is untrainable. I
Really?
would say humans are the hardest animal to train. Every organism that is living learns. That's how we survive.
Are you telling me I could train an ant?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've trained crocodiles, frogs.
What's the hardest?
I'd say it depends on the individual. Depends on
Right.
the individual. And you know
So you
what?
can get
It's
like a
our
smart
job.
crocodile or a dumb crocodile.
Crocodiles are so smart. They were one of the animals when I first kind of started doing this role that just blew my mind at their intelligence.
But hang on,
Wow.
what are you training him to do? Like jump like at SeaWorld with the dolphins?
No, not
Right.
that.
But
kind
you
of
don't do
training
that
that's
training
proactive
anymore.
for
That's
their
all.
health
That's not
care.
on.
So it's all for their kind of health care. So we're able
C80s, that is.
we're able to medicate them or weigh them because that's a really important part of their care. is
How do
us
you
knowing.
weigh a crocodile?
Well, you can ask them to station. So a station or a target is when you ask them to move to a space.
And they just walk there?
yeah.
Okay, here I go.
Yeah, exactly.
Here,
Yeah,
boy.
walk
Here,
there.
boy.
Pretty
Don't take my
much.
arm off. Here,
Yeah.
boy.
It's pretty much exactly the same way as you'd call a dog over, but you're doing it in a way that the crocodile might understand or recognise. a little
Kelly,
bit
Can you give me an
easier.
example?
Sure. So let's say we're training our crocodiles. We would use a station which was like a red reflector on the end of a stick. Pretty simple thing
Yeah,
that we
right.
just banged together. But when we presented that to the glass of the crocodile's enclosure, the crocodile would come over and investigate that.
Right.
As soon as it touched its nose to that bit of glass where the reflector was, we'd give it a bit of food, throw in a little bit of fish
Oh,
for it.
it's always food as
food.
reward. It's like how you
Absolutely.
train your
Motivated
Jace.
like
Absolutely.
Jace.
Yeah,
Exactly.
good boy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's a muffin. Good
I would
boy.
follow that reflector
Yeah.
anywhere.
Hey, Kelly, do the animals recognise you or remember you? The reason I ask
You love
is
those
because
videos.
I love the videos where the animal is reunited
Like-
with its handler and
like
they
an orphan
give him a
lion.
hug and they
The
brings me-
orphan lion
makes
that
me
got
cry.
brought up by that family and they released it to the wild
Does
and it
that
came
happen?
back.
Do you have any reunion moments?
I definitely have moments that the animals recognise me. Reunion moments. Okay, so I used to work with a gorilla when I was
gorilla
younger,
screaming.
and the gorilla was a baby, and so I was very lucky enough to work with this beautiful young gorilla, and then about 15 years later, I got to work with him again, and I would very much like to think there was some recognition there.
Do you think
that might just be my ego?
Do you think there
talking.
was?
I think there was, because there was a lot of communication from that gorilla that was very comfortable. There were pleasure grumbles, so they kind of do this like,
Bring in the gorilla.
yeah, they do this
I'll
cute
cry.
little
Don't.
grumble.
Oh,
So I do think that animals, again, they're so good at recognising different things of different people, and I 100%
Oh, like
there
when
would be
Missouri
recognition.
threw
Yes.
poo at me.
So
That's right.
what did that mean? Because Clint met Missouri, the gorilla, and it picked up
I went to
its
visit him in the UK.
poopy when it got relocated to the UK.
I
and
think
started
he
throwing it.
recognised you from home
And
was
didn't like
He grabbed his turds and he threw them at me.
Yeah.
Is that love or hate?
It could be both. we really don't know. You'd have to ask Missouri and be like, was he trying to get your attention? It literally could have been an attention-seeking behaviour. So he might have been like, I can see Clint and I'm going to throw some poo to get him to look at me.
Is that
So
well, it worked?
It was love.
It worked. It was love.
Let's just say it was
did you
love.
throw yours back?
Caught this, Missouri.
Kelly, some people are very critical of zoos because obviously we've seen a big movement and we don't make dolphins dance anymore and we don't keep whales. We don't do any of those things that people did in the 80s. Then Tiger King came around and we shouldn't be keeping tiger. Like, we know that. So a lot of people don't think zoos are good places. Is there a place for zoos? Why are these animals in a zoo and not in the wild?
I totally understand your question, Lauren, and I think it's a really good one because there are a lot of zoos around the world and people who own animals that probably aren't doing it in the best way that they could. I do think there's a great place for zoos, and in Zoos Victoria, we have such a high welfare standard, and we're constantly improving that. Nobody does everything at 100%, and we're constantly learning about new ways that we can improve the health and welfare of our animals.
Tell you what rattled
Is there
me.
like a list of zoos that like people should go to knowing that they're the right kind of zoos? Because
Absolutely.
sometimes like I found myself at places and I'm like, oh,
This doesn't
this
feel
doesn't
right.
feel right.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can check the accrediting bodies of zoos around the world and make sure that they're accredited.
okay,
zoos.
Kelly, is it true? I've told this to many, many people
Here we go.
that giraffes. I went on this funny story actually. I went on a date once, and
With a
this
giraffe?
no
Guy with the big
years
neck.
ago, and this guy asked me like what my hobbies were, and I said I studied to be a zoologist. I don't know why I made it up. I panicked, and and I started reeling off giraffe facts. And
What's your giraffe
what-
facts?
yeah.
What do you
well,
lead
the
with?
giraffes have the biggest hearts of all the land animals. Uh-oh, Kelly.
Kelly is not agreeing with that.
You
Because
know what?
they
That
need
could
to
very
pump
well
the
be,
blood
It could
up.
very well be the case.
They need
do.
to
That is
beat
true.
their heart,
Yes.
and it needs to go all the way out their neck to their heads. And when they bend down, the valve in the neck shuts it off, so the blood doesn't rush to their head.
Good on you, Attenborough.
Lauren, you've got it right. Like, you've got it right. That was you should be a zoologist.
Thank you.
Careful
You're
where you-
basically.
I
you're
didn't get a
basically
second.
Did it work out with the
certified
bloke?
now.
No,
No.
I'm shocked.
no, it didn't.
Hey, Kelly, thank you so much for coming in this
My
morning.
pleasure. Thanks.
Werribee Open Range Zoo. Get out there. The
Well,
animals
not
are
in the zoo.
No.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at a zoo the other day, and before they put the lions out in the enclosure, people were paying to walk through the lion enclosure and see the environment.
See, I don't get that.
Neither
I'd be
do
a
I.
bit
And the people's family
spooked.
were watching, taking photos, and my 8-year-old was like, "Now's a good time to release the lions." I'm like, I'm so sorry, Betty. I'm very sorry. Hey, Kelly, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having
Good
me.
to see you, Kel.
Jason Lauren. Jason Lauren.
Wake up feeling good.
On Nova 100.
Jason Lauren.
Follow them on socials.